everyone, it's Rachel from Sweet and Simple Home, and today I am here in my kitchen with my apron on because I have an organization project to tackle today that has just been driving me bonkers. Recently, the other night, I was flipping through Pinterest and I saw this quote that said, "Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can." I just thought that was such a great quote, and I was inspired actually by that quote to tackle this project because I'd been thinking, oh, I've got to wait till it's in the budget for me to buy bins, or I've got to wait till I have a lot of time to work on this. And you guys, I did this while Clive was eating his lunch and I did not buy a single thing. I simply just reused what we had. We had set up the snacks and food and whatnot up high because when our little Liam was a toddler, he had so many food allergies. Now that Liam is 6, he doesn't need those sorts of precautions. He knows what he can have and can't have. And Molly and him like to make their own lunches, and sometimes they're standing here in the kitchen waiting for me for several minutes because I'm changing a diaper, putting Clive in the bath, and they're waiting for me to get all the food down that was up high down into counter level so they can reach it. And it's become a massive time waster to have the food up high. What I'm gonna do is just bring down all the food that's up high and move the things that I have in the lower cupboard up to other areas or up in that high cupboard, and that way the kids can actually reach what they need and our mornings and evenings will hopefully flow a little bit more smoothly. Up in this cupboard I had a few like decorative type items up high, but in the middle was where I would keep treats and snacks and chips and things like that that are more special type items, and the lower level holds like our medicines and my essential oils and things like that. You'll notice that these cupboards, each level has its own Lazy Susan. I did not buy these were installed by the previous owner. They had these custom made for these cabinets and I'm super grateful they did because they're totally awesome. In the lower level I had things like a lot of my Pyrex dishes and my vintage milk glass pieces, my punch bowl that was my grandmother's, lots of bigger glass type items. So I'm going to put these up since we don't use these on a daily basis. It's okay if they're up high and I'll just carefully get them down when we need them. Down in this lower level I had already set up a spot for lunch sacks and water bottles and those little containers that you need for your lunch boxes. I had already set this up and that was working pretty well for the kids to reach that and get it out. These two shelves down here are going to become sort of like the lunch packing station. I started out just cleaning everything out of both of these cupboards, and because I'm pretty regularly decluttering, I didn't have to do a ton of decluttering, but if I noticed there was something that needed to be tossed or something that we weren't loving, I went ahead and moved it out of the way so that I could focus on what we actually needed to rehome or organize. Once I got both the cupboards empty, I made sure to wipe them down, get all the crumbs out, and start with a clean slate. It always amazes me how much stuff fits in these cupboards when you have it all out on the counters. It's kind of overwhelming. Above our fridge, we have these really interesting pull-out cupboards. I think, again, these were custom built by the previous owner, and I had been using them to hold things like cereal and oatmeal and these large bags of chips from Costco. But again, the kids couldn't reach them if that's what they wanted to eat, and so my husband and I were having to reach up and grab them, and to be honest, I can barely reach these. I decided to switch these out as well and to move the cereal and the chips down where the kids can reach it. I only ended up needing to use one of those high above the fridge cupboards, and that cupboard is now housing my Ninja blender and my punch bowl, and the punch bowl is holding all the different attachments for the blender. On the very top shelf, I have my set of 3 Fire King bowls, as well as my milk glass footed bowl and our dinner time conversation starters. In the middle level, I have my yellow fruit bowl. Inside of it, I have one of my milk glass Pyrex bowls holding my cookie cutters. I've got my waffle maker and cheese grater. The bottom shelf is still where we keep our medications and whatnot. I just went through and kind of tidied it up a little bit. This container here is just holding our kid meds. I have our thermometer here sitting next to the kid meds, some room spray, and then all of my essential oils with my favorites up front. These are the ones I reach for the most often, so I wanted them up front where I could easily grab them. Then we have what I've called the adult most commonly used medications, our spare EpiPens, rash creams and whatnot, and then our less used medications. All of these little bins I got at the Dollar Tree several years ago. I set up this system several years ago and it's still working well. Down below, I'm really proud of how this came out. I just have a couple of these pull-out containers, and I just took a marker and wrote on the handle. You can easily just use a magic eraser to take it off and change it out if you need. Next, I have another one of my milk glass Pyrex bowls. This has long been our treat bowl, and so that is what it is holding now, is just some little treat-like snacks. I'm using this container I already had. I use this when I'm toting cupcakes or cookies back and forth from the school for special events. And I just thought, hey, you know what? When I'm not using it for special events, this would be great to corral or open chip bags and snack bags. I'm not one to rehome snacks into different containers. That is a process that just irritates me so much. We move through food quickly enough and I don't buy a lot at a time. So this is what we have and it'll get eaten up in a week or 2 weeks at the most. Next, I have a little sandwich making area, and we're out of bread, but we have our sun butter here and the sandwich bag so the kids can pull this out and make their own sandwiches. I just am kicking myself that I haven't done this sooner because it's been such a pain to pull everything out for sandwiches for the kids. Why didn't I do this sooner, you guys? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to make lunches next week. On the bottom shelf, these two containers are the same. I already had these and I just went through and kind of tidied them up. One container is for my kids' water bottles and lunch sacks, and one is for my husband's water bottles and lunch sacks. The kids have their lunch sacks with them right now because they're at school. Then the rest I have on this lower shelf is just a bag of chips, and the reason why it's just that bag of chips is because we're towards the end of the month, and so a lot of our Costco big bags are quite small, and when you first get home from Costco, those bags are quite large, so I wanted to have lots of room for that. The biggest discovery I made was that our Instant Pot actually fit in the same cupboard with our pots and pans. This makes so much more sense too to have it with the cooking items because we use our Instant Pot a lot. Above it, I was able to fit in our yogurt separator tool thing that we have. We make our own yogurt actually in the Instant Pot. I can link to our Instant Pot and that yogurt tool thing below because I know some of you will ask about it, so it'll be down below. That is my organizing project. Like I said, I did this while Clive was eating lunch, so in like 20 minutes or less I was able to do this entire project. I'm just super happy that the functionality of my kitchen has increased by like 50%. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this recent project that I tackled. Projects like this are some of my favorites that cost $0 and just make the world of a difference. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd love to have you here at the Sweet and Simple home. I love making my home beautiful little by little, and little projects like this are just music to my soul. And if you connect with that, I hope you will hit that red subscribe button and the little red bell so you'll be notified whenever I have new content. I have a whole organizing, decluttering playlist that I will link on the next screen. I hope you'll go check it out. You guys take care, and I will be back with more soon. Bye!